only I could fly. If only I could fly, then I a proper bird would be. In sky I'd float quite free, while all my friends go by.
Water, water, everywhere. At time for bed, one rainy night, Orm checked the house was closed up tight.
Oh dear.
He feared that if it rained much more, it would wash in under his door. It was the one bad thing he'd found of living this far underground. Oh dear, I hope it doesn't go on raining. We might have to swim for it, and I'm not very good at swimming.
Is this a new game, Orm? I've never played swimming, but do you think we could do it in the morning? I'm a bit tired now.
I don't think little birds were meant to swim, Cheep.
Who can swim then, Orm? Can snails swim?
No, he certainly can't. I think being in a boat is the nearest some of us ought to get to deep water.
Ooh!
But not tonight, Cheep, and not tomorrow either, by the look of this weather. Come on, it's bedtime.
Yes, I'm very sleepy.
And as they snuggled down in bed, Cheep thought about the day ahead. Would they go boating, as Orm said, or would it rain too hard instead? As Orm and Cheep turned out the lamp, outside was more than dark and damp. The rain got worse, began to pour, as inside Orm began to snore. And Cheep lay dreaming of a boat, and how he'd love to be afloat. He'd be the captain of a yacht, whether he'd learned to swim or not. But still it rained and rained much more, beat at the windows and the door. It formed big puddles all around, which joined up so they hid the ground. The flood got deeper through the night. Now, was Orm's house quite watertight? No wonder Cheep dreamed of a boat. He woke to find his bed afloat. It was just like a dream come true. And there was Orm's bed floating too.
Cheep, I've got a bed boat, and I'm the captain. Orm, wake up. We can play boats today, just like you said.
Orm opened up one bleary eye as Captain Cheep went sailing by. Cheep's flapping wings and little tail seemed to be acting like a sail. Orm clung on tight. Cheep flapped some more and headed off towards the door.
I'm the captain. Isn't boating fun, Orm?
Oh, my goodness. Cheep, do be careful. Oh, dear.
Whoops, nearly fell in. Orm, look. It's all flooded outside, too. Whee!
The bedboat sailed by the front door. Cheep loved it. Orm was not too sure. Sit down, Cheep. Don't rock the boat or you'll be in the water.
Ooh, what fun this is. Come on, Orm. Why don't you try to go faster, too? We could have a race. Ooh, look.
Around the bend, they had a shock. Poor Snail was clinging to a rock. The rising flood now had him trapped, and round his shell the water lapped. Quickly, Cheep, we must rescue Snail before he gets washed away.
I'm coming, Snail. Hold on.
Hold on. What do you think I'm doing?
Cheep flapped away with wings and tail and got his bed to drift near Snail. And then Cheep clung on very tight so Snail could get aboard all right. Bravo, Cheep! That was very brave and very clever.
Yes, the water was about to wash me away, and I can't swim, you know.
Really? I was just asking Orm about that last night. Shall we both learn together?
Well, I'm not sure.
Oh.
But while Cheep chatted to his friend, the bedboats drifted round the bend. Orm hoped they would sail on some more. He'd spotted Rat upon the shore.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
What's all that noise over there in the water, huh? It must be my lucky day. And I certainly deserve a lucky day. That looks like my breakfast over there, floating on a bed. Bed and breakfast.
Oh dear.
Bed and breakfast.
Rat watched his breakfast drifting by and saw that he would have to try to use some clever plan or trick. Now maybe he could use a stick. That tree would be the perfect trap. His breakfast would float in his lap.
What a clever plan, eh? But then I am rather a clever rat. Now, here we go.
Oh, it's climbing out the tree. Cheep, Snail, we must do something. Try to get away from that tree.
Don't move too much, Cheep, or we will be in deep trouble.
Oh, there's nothing we can do. I'm frightened.
Rat tried to chew, then tried to bite the tree so it would fall just right. But time was running out, so he decided he would push the tree. He tried his best to heave and shove and push the tree down from above. The beds were drifting close to Rat. He'd have to push some more so that they wouldn't go right past the spot he'd chosen for his clever plot.
Oh no.
Come on, you stupid tree. Come on.
Oh, what can we do? I'm frightened. Gee.
Look out! Hold on tight!
It's really a rich yummy.
Rat climbed along a branch to try and make it fall down from on high.
Oh dear.
But hadn't worked out when it fell that it would bring him down as well. The weakened stem at last went snap. But had Rat caught them in his trap?
Done it. What a clever... Oh, no. Help! Oh, dear. I got a nasty sinking feeling in my tummy. Oh, no. Help!
Quickly, Cheep. Try to grab the side.
Look at Rat, Orm. He can't swim either.
Can you sit here in the boat? Help! Help me!
Oh no.
Help! Can you hear me? Help! It's above you all!
Then Orm and Cheep climbed back to land and both gave Snail a helping hand.
Come on, Snail.
As Rat clung to the floating tree and snarled as all three friends got free.
Come on, help me!
Thank you, Orm, and thank you, Cheep. We didn't even get our feet wet.
No, I think it's Rat who needs the swimming lessons. Look.
So cold! My lovely fur's gone wet! I still haven't had my breakfast! Rats! I'll get used this weight till I've dried out! Rats!
If only Cheep could fly. If only If Cheep could use his wings, he'd still bump into things and have to take great care not to fall in fat cat lair. And if he saw the crow, he quickly homeward go to his favorite friend called Orm. And they're all safe and warm. They dream about another day. If only I could fly. If only I could fly. Then I, a proper bird would be. In sky I'd float quite free, while all my friends go by.
Cheep didn't think he'd ever seen Orm's house so in need of a clean. After a winter underground, Orm's tidy house, all snug and round, was now full up with things which Cheep had just piled up in one great heap.
There we are, Orm. That's all my things in one pile of spring cleaning. Can I go out and play now?
No, no, no. The idea of spring cleaning is not just to collect all your things in a heap in the middle of the floor. Now you've got to sort it out. Come on, and I'll get on with trying to clean these old chairs. No sooner had young Cheep begun when he discovered it was fun. He found all sorts of treasures where he piled them up without much care. He first pulled out some bits of string which he could use for anything. His cricket pads and ball and bat he now stacked neatly on the mat. Deep in the pile he found as well a funny-coloured tinkly bell. Orm's cookbooks, volumes 2 and 4, he also stacked up on the floor. Old biscuits, too, to Cheep's delight, among the things he brought to light. Orm turned from working at his chair, and he could only stop and stare. The single pile on the floor was spread out round the house once more. Oh, Cheep!
Yes, Orm? How are you getting on with cleaning that chair?
Never mind the chair. I can't clean under that lot. Where's this funny-coloured bell come from? I don't know. We'll have to do this properly and move everything outside.
Everything, Orm. We could do with some help, couldn't we?
We certainly could. Look, even this rug has got something under it. Oh, but...
Hello, Orm. Excuse me, I'm not really here. I just seem to have missed my way.
Oh, dear.
Slightly.
Yes, you have. But now you're here, Mo, you can show you're really sorry by giving us a hand to take all the chairs and things outside so I can do my spring cleaning.
All right. Oh, for the joys of spring cleaning.
They were quite fortunate that Mo had popped up from that new Mo hole. Mo worked until the house was bare, as Orm and Cheep each took a chair. Then Cat appeared from round a tree to find out what the noise could be.
How's that, Orm? Did we do well? Have we finished? Is it tea time yet? Can I sit out here, have tea?
Well, what have we here? Sitting targets. Now, let me see.
Well, thank you, Mo. Now I can get on and do all the sweeping.
If you don't mind, Orm, I'll run along now, but I'll be back later to help carry the things inside again.
Oh, that's most kind, Mo. Just watch what you come up under next time.
I wonder.
There he goes.
Come on, they would make a good bait for a trap.
While Orm and Cheep swept up inside,
Such fun.
come on, then. Cat took the chairs away to hide. She put them in the bramble patch, not far away. Now, could she catch both Orm and Cheep? She'd set the bait. Now, all she had to do was wait.
How easy this is. I just lie here and wait until they come looking for the chairs. Then I grab them both. Easy.
Well done, Cheep. The house looks very clean now.
And very empty.
Yes. Let's get the furniture back inside now.
I hope Mo finds his way back to help us soon.
Although Mole's tunnels are the best, he cannot tell his east from west. Beneath the ground they crissed and crossed. It was no wonder Mole got lost.
Little right.
He popped up once or twice to see if he could recognize a tree.
For the joys of... it's not quite right.
While in the bramble near to Orm could just be made out Cat's still form. Cheep, where'd you put the chairs? I can't see them anywhere.
Come on. Just a little closer.
Once more, Mole popped up just to see how near to Orm's house he might be. He came up underneath a chair. At first, he could not work out where.
Oh dear, there's one of Orm's chairs. It must be in Orm's house. No, not. Oh dear, that looks like trouble.
A ginger tail twitched into view. Mole knew exactly what to do. He reached the two chairs down, and then he set off on his way again. It wasn't that the cat was blind, it's just she never looked behind.
Well, no sign of them yet. They'll be along to get the chairs sooner or later.
Now Orm and Cheep searched high and low, but in the bramble did not go. There was no point they both could see, so searched round every bush and tree.
Oh dear. There's no point in getting all scratched in the brambles, and I've looked everywhere else. Oh, phew. I'm tired of looking for the chairs. I want to sit down.
Well, you can't sit down until we have chairs to sit on.
They were such comfy chairs.
Yes, I suppose I should have been grateful for that. And now I haven't got anything to sit on. Come on, Cheep, let's go into the house. We can always sit on the beds.
Or bounce on them.
Oh, no.
Come on, dog, come on. Ooh, look.
What? Cheep ran inside and saw a sight that gave the little bird a fright. The rug was pushed up in the air, but shaped just like a phantom chair. It waved about, and then it spoke. But luckily, Orm saw the joke.
For the joys of tunneling.
Mole, I presume. Were you playing a game on us?
Oh, I'm really here this time, am I?
What do you mean, Mole? They heard Mole's story and agreed that Mole had done them a good deed.
Just tunneling, normally they're normally doing. And there's this cat, you say.
But Orm was quite determined that they'd get their own revenge on Cat. She played a mean trick on us, and it might have worked if it hadn't been for Mole.
Oh, when I saw the underneath of the chair, it rang a bell, because I've come up underneath that chair in your house before.
Lots of times.
Rang a bell, indeed. That gives me an idea. Ooh. Now, Cat was getting rather bored. Her waiting had brought no reward. Until now, through the path ahead, popped up Mole's hands, then nose, then head. Then right beside him, up popped Cheep. Cat poised to take a mighty leap. Her eyes were so fixed on the trail, she didn't see Orm near her tail. Cat twitched her tail before she sprang. Each time it twitched, a small bell rang.
Well, what was that? Where is that ringing coming from? I've got to keep quiet until they are here. Oh, no!
She then saw giggling Cheep and Mole duck safely down inside the hole. Orm ducked back down a hole as well, clear of a funny coloured bell.
Oh, that ringing is driving me mad. I can't seem to get away from it. Oh, oh, the bells, the bells.
The friends all laughed as they sat round in Orm's clean house deep underground. Well, I think we all helped put the ring into spring. Oh dear.
If only Cheep could fly. If only Cheep could fly. Then he, a proper bird would be. Inside he'd float quite free, while all his friends go by. If Cheep could use his wings, he'd still bump into things and have to take great care not to fall in fat cat's lair. And if he saw the crow, he quickly home would go to his favorite friend called Orm, and they're all safe and warm. They dream about another day. If only I could fly. If only I could fly. Then I, a proper bird would be. In sky I'd float quite free, while all my friends go by.
Like all great artists, Cheep could tell when things were going really well. He'd left his true creative flow to tell him where he ought to go. And there had grown, to his surprise, a masterpiece before his eyes. He'd started painting, first of all, used several brushes, large and small, then somehow paint was not enough. He'd thrown in lots of other stuff. So now the painting was quite deep, and most of it had gone on Cheep. But Cheep was really pleased to see what different effects could be created in the name of art, especially from a simple start. He now piled on some flour and clay and stuck in little bits of hay. Orm woke to hear a squelching sound, like someone running round and round in sticky mud. What could it be? He thought he'd better go and see. Cheep's masterpiece had grown some more, with finger painting on the floor. Oh, Cheep, my floor, my table, my house.
Hello, Orm. Oh, don't you like my painting?
I'm not looking at the painting, I'm only looking at the mess.
Oh, yes. I think I forgot to put a piece of paper down first.
Oh, my poor little house.
Shall I clean up, Orm?
No, don't touch anything. I think you better go and clean yourself up first while I try and do something in here.
All right, Orm. Then can we hang my picture on the wall?
A little later in the glade, near Orm's front door, Snail sought the shade. It was a blustering, windy day, but still Snail had to hide away. The sun on his shell was far too hot, so he enjoyed this shady spot. Snail was about to fall asleep when out into the glade burst Cheep. He carried all his painting things dangling from his outstretched wings. He put them down and looked around. Another subject must be found.
Oh, Snail, I almost didn't see you in the shade.
Well, I wasn't moving, you see. Oh, I say, Cheep, you'd better come over here out of sight. Quickly.
The snail had looked up in the sky and seen the shape of Crow fly by. He knew that nasty Crow would love to swoop down on them from above. Cheep was impressed how Snail could stay not moving till Crow flew away.
Gosh, Snail, you are very good at not moving.
It's movement that attracts foes like Crow. Movement and noise. And that's why I move slowly and quietly.
Yes, but I was thinking, if you could stay not moving, I could paint a picture of you. Oh, please, Snail, will you? Will you?
Well, I've never had my portrait painted before.
Go on, Snail.
Cheep had a great idea how he thought Snail's portrait ought to be. He'd paint a scene that at first look would be just like a colouring book, with shapes and patterns all around, but deep inside, Snail could be found.
Here we go.
Snail kept himself completely still while Cheep worked at his easel till Snail had to ask Cheep for a break, and
How much longer would it take?
I just about finished the drawing part, and now I've got to do the colouring in part. What do you think of it so far, Snail?
Well, all I can see is a jumble of lines. I can't see me at all.
That's it. It shows how good you are at disguising yourself.
It does?
Yes, look, there you are. Can you see?
as Snail peered closer, he could see a sort of snail shape by a tree. The more he looked, he understood Cheep's drawing really was quite good.
Yes, I see now. I'm cleverly hidden in the picture.
It will be a lot better when I've coloured it in. Oh, hello, Cheep. Hello, Snail. Oh, what are you looking at? Oh, lovely patterns.
No, it's a portrait of me.
Look closely, Mouse. What do you see?
Wait a minute. I can see Cat. Look in the corner.
I just draw what I see. And I see... Cat! Run!
And sure enough, Mouse had been right. Cat had been almost out of sight, except for just an outline faint, which Cheep had sketched and now would paint. To Orm's front door ran Cheep and Mouse, while Snail ducked back inside his house.
Well, where did they go? Oh, what's this? A picture? Well, not very tasty. What's the good of catching something if you can't eat it?
Cat left the picture on the ground and took a careful look around. Nothing moved except the breeze, which blew down swiftly through the trees. It's lucky that Cat didn't hear the laughter coming from quite near.
Snail didn't move, and Cat didn't see him. He was hidden just like my picture. Oh, I hope my picture's all right. Whoops, the wind has caught hold of it. Give me a hand, Mouse.
Yes, Cat didn't see me because I didn't move.
If you can keep on not moving, Snail, I'll get on with my painting.
May I watch the great artist at work?
Well, only if you keep very quiet.
So Cheep the artist set to work. Despite the wind which tried to jerk the picture up into the sky, Mouse helped till something caught her eye.
Eek!
Caw! What a sight! As pretty as a picture.
Eek! Quiet, Mouse. I said you could only stay and watch if you were quiet. Oh. Look, it's Crow. He's seen us and he's going to attack. We haven't time to run away. What are we going to do?
Stand still, like me. Don't move at all.
What? Out here in the open?
It's our only chance. So Cheep and Mouse and Snail stood still as Crow swooped downwards for the kill. Crow could not understand why they did not attempt to run away. But as Crow reached his final dive, the painting seemed to come alive. The wind now whipped it in the air, while Mouse and Cheep could only stare. It seemed to know just where to go and flapped in front of diving Crow. Crow tried to shout but could not speak. The painting wrapped around his beak. Crow swerved but could not see and crashed into a nearby tree. The painting fluttered to the ground as Crow looked dazedly around. Caw! Where am I? Who am I? Why does my head hurt so much? Oh, caw! I'm going home.
We're safe. We're safe.
It was all because we were quiet and didn't move.
Yes. My poor painting. Look, it's all torn.
At this point, Orm came out to see what Cheep would like to have for tea. Hey, Cheep, I've cleaned up inside and done some baking. Would you like... What's the matter?
Eh? Oh?
They put Orm in the picture, so he heard what happened to the crow and saw Cheep's ruined work of art. Orm thought he'd mend Cheep's broken heart. Cheep, would you like to try and draw some still life?
Oh, no, not me again. It's much too dangerous.
No, I meant this big plate of special Orm biscuits.
Oh, yes. But then again,
Yes?
I think I would rather draw the empty plate.
Oh, Cheep.
If only Cheep could fly. If only Cheep could fly. Then he, a proper bird would be. Inside he'd float quite free, while all his friends go by. If Cheep could use his wings, he'd still bump into things and have to take great care not to fall in fat cat's lair. And if he saw the crow, he quickly home would go to his favorite friend called Orm. And they're all safe and warm. They dream about another day. If only I could fly. If only I could fly. Then I, a proper bird would be. In sky I'd float quite free, while all my friends go by.
It must be very hard to sleep next to a bouncy, noisy Cheep.
Oh dear.
Yet Orm does manage every day to lie in, letting young Cheep play.
Oh, it's exciting book.
Except when Cheep has a new game, and Treasure Island is its name.
Pieces of eight. Pieces of eight. Oh, come on, Orm. Please get up. Let's go outside and play pirates. We could look for buried treasure. Yes, it'd be really great.
Oh, Cheep, can't you leave me in peace? Look, why don't you go and see if Mouse is awake? She often is in the middle of the night.
Good idea. See you later.
So Cheep hopped happily away to see if his friend Mouse would play.
Oh, pieces of eight, pieces of eight. Oh, treasure. I'd buy some treasure somewhere.
He'd not gone far when he met Mole, considering his next mole hole. They passed the time of day, and Cheep explained that Orm would rather sleep.
Yes, Orm always likes to lie in.
Yes. Orm said I should go and play with Mouse. I want to play pirates today, looking for buried treasure and pieces of eight. Do you want to come and play too, Mole?
Well, I'll just keep an eye out for the buried treasure while I'm tunneling. No, Off you go and enjoy your game. For the joys of time.
Suddenly, up in the sky, Cheep saw a great black shape go by. He recognized that nasty crow and was relieved to watch him go. Then Cheep set off to visit Mouse and soon arrived at her small house.
Hello, Mouse. What are you doing? Do you want to come and play pirates with me? Orm thought you might want to. We could search for buried treasure. Mo said he would help.
Hey, slow down, Cheep. I'd love to play pirates, but I was just going to do some cooking first. Do you want to help?
Ooh, can we cook biscuits?
Yes, I was just looking for a recipe in this very, very old family cookbook. My granny used to cook special nutty biscuits from a recipe that had been in the family for years and years. But it doesn't seem to be in here.
Nutty biscuits. Where? Let me see. Are there any pictures? Oh, I must have a look. Let me have a look. Go on.
Careful, Cheep. This is a very old book. Oh, look out.
Oh, what's that? Oh,
But Bouncy Cheep was trying to look for pictures in the ancient book and pulled it right across the table. Mouse tried to catch it, wasn't able.
Oh. Oh.
Bump on the floor, and Cheep could see its spine was broken, pages free.
Cheep. Oh, Mouse, I'm ever so sorry. Let's see if we can mend it.
Careful, the pages are loose. Wait, there's something else here.
What?
It looked like a bit of paper which was hidden in the spine of the book.
Ooh, what is it? What does it say?
It's very old. It's...
Yes? What? What is it?
It's a treasure map.
Oh.
A real treasure map.
Treasure map.
There is treasure buried somewhere.
Oh.
And this is the map of where to find it.
Oh. Real treasure. Buried by pirates.
Probably buried by my great-great-grandfather.
Oh.
This was his book originally.
Oh, Cheep. Real treasure. Let's go and get it now.
We shall need help.
Come on.
Let's look for Snail and Mole.
Oh. Yes. Now we must find the
Cheep's feet now hardly touched the ground until both Mole and Snail were found, and Mouse explained just what they'd need to find the treasure, if indeed it had not long ago been found where it was buried underground. Snail, I thought you could help first. We need to work out all these measurements, and it needs someone who is very good at sums.
Yes, these are all old-fashioned measurements.
Yes.
It will take a long time for me to work it all out.
While Snail worked out the treasure clues, the friends decided what they'd choose. For everyone has different dreams. For Cheep, it's pink and white ice creams. The thought that made Mouse give a grin, a comfy quilt to snuggle in. A big umbrella would suit Snail to save his shell from rain and hail. And Mole, too, dreamed of treasure bright, a miner's helmet with a light.
Done it.
Oh, now.
I've worked it all out. It was very difficult, you see, because these measurements were in paces and inches.
Yes, let's start digging. Let's start digging. This is a bait. This is a bait.
Very well. In that case, I shall lead the way.
Oh, dear. Christmas time. Oh, Snail.
Oh, Snail.
Oh, Snail.
Come on. You'll soon see.
They could not talk. Snail had to know exactly how far they must go. He counted at a snail's pace, while Cheep played pirates round the place.
Oh, this is
Cheep felt he soon must go off pop. Then Snail came to a sudden stop.
49,
Come on.
50. There.
Where, Snail? We're in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing here but the stump of that old tree.
Yes, the little stump. Can we dig now? Can we dig now? Come on, come on, come on.
Mole's best at digging, Cheep. It's a bit out in the open here. We must keep a sharp lookout.
let's...
Oh, for the joys of tunneling.
Mole quickly dug down very deep with lots of help from noisy Cheep. But no one looked up in the sky to see the greedy crow fly by because a shout came from the hole. The treasure had been found by Mole.
I think I found it. Give me a hand.
The friends all gathered round the hole to give a hand to clever Mole. While they were looking underground, none of them could hear the sound of Nasty Crow as down he flew to get a rather closer view.
Oh, it's a treasure chest, just like the story. We've got the treasure. We've got a... Oh, dear.
Caw. Thank you very much. I'm sure I couldn't have done it without your help. Now, if you'll all step back and let me look inside at my treasure. Crow pulled the lid. It opened wide, while Cheep slipped round the back to hide.
Wretched Crow.
Get my beak just inside. Then as Crow's head moved in to peek, Cheep slammed the lid down on his beak. You've hurt my beak, Caw. You can keep your mouldy treasure. As Crow flapped painfully away, he knew his beak would hurt all day. The friends all cheered Cheep's timely deed. He was the hero, all agreed. But none of them had so far seen or understood what Crow could mean.
Let me see first. I am the hero. Oh, are these pieces of eight? Oh.
What is it, Cheep?
Crow was right. They are all mouldy. Look, just some very old nuts and this bit of paper.
Let me see.
Oh, great. Is it another treasure map? Is it?
No, it's the original recipe for those lovely nutty biscuits. This really is a treasure. You couldn't buy this with any number of pieces of eight.
You could call them pieces of eight biscuits.
And all the friends had to agree when Mouse invited them to tea. The treasure hunts were really great when treasure ends up on a lake.
If only Cheep could fly. If only Cheep could fly. Then he, a proper bird would be. Inside he'd float quite free, while all his friends go by. If Cheep could use his wings, he'd still bump into things and have to take great care not to fall in fat cat's lair. And if he saw the crow, he quickly homeward go to his favorite friend called home. And they're all safe and warm. They dream about another day. If only I could fly. If only I could fly. Then I, a proper bird would be. In sky I'd float quite free, while all my friends go by.
One autumn morning underground, Cheep woke up first and looked around. Orm was as usual fast asleep. So lonely, bouncy, naughty Cheep decided he would visit Mouse and go the long way to her house. Orm often told Cheep that he should go nowhere near to the dark wood, But on that bright and sunny day, Cheep wanted to explore that way and headed where friends never go, in case they meet some nasty foe. At first the path was wide and bright, and Cheep felt it would be all right to go on deeper in the trees. Till nasty brambles cut his knees, and thorns and sharp stones hurt his feet. Cheep thought he'd give up and retreat. While looking down, Cheep didn't see a darker shape up in the tree, until Crow grabbed him with sharp claws and flew away without a pause.
Ouch! Put me down! Help! Cheep!
Caw, caw. Got you now, you foolish bird. Be quiet and stop wriggling or I'll drop you. Caw. What a nice, tasty surprise.
Help! Help!
Crow flapped and flapped as hard as he could and lifted Cheep up through the wood. Up and up till Cheep could see them heading for the tallest tree, and up they went without a rest until they reached the great crow's nest.
Oh, for the joys of tunneling. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Mole, who was tunneling nearby, popped up to hear Cheep's startled cry.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Cheep! Help! Cheep!
Oh, dear.
Mole saw Crow carry Cheep away. He must get help without delay. He didn't dare run through the wood. He did the only thing he could, dig back until the tunnel ends, and there he'd find one of the friends. He'd never dug so fast before. He dug until his hands were sore.
Oh, dear, dear, dear.
But when he popped up on the trail, he straightaway saw his old friend Snail.
Snail, is that you?
Of course it is, Mo. Can't you see? You're not underground now.
Snail, it's terrible. Crow has got Cheep. I was just slightly lost, and when I came up to check my bearings, I saw it all. Crow has taken Cheep up to his nest at the top of the big tree in the dark wood.
Oh dear. Oh dear. We must move quickly, Mo.
What do you think I've been doing?
You go and find Orm. He'll know what to do. I'll head for the big tree and meet you there.
That means we've got to go into the dark wood. I just hope we're not too late.
Crow reached his nest, let go of Cheep, who fell into a feathery heap. Cheep wished he'd kept out of the wood, as Orm had told him that he should. Too late, and now he guessed he'd be next on the menu for Crow's tea.
Oh, Mr. Crow, you don't really want to eat me, do you?
Caw. Caw. Of course I do. I eat anything and everything, and today I'm going to eat you.
Cheep! Mr. Crow, I'm really only very small and thin. It's just my feathers which make me look bigger. I'd hardly make a decent meal.
Caw. You could be right. In that case, I'd better fetch some nice big vegetables and make you into a stew. Caw. Yes, that does sound good. Now, little bird, don't try to escape from here while I've gone. It's a long fall, and I like my dinner really fresh. And with a dreadful whooshing sound, Crow flew down towards the ground. 3 worried faces far below watched with relief departing Crow. Now was their chance. With him away, the friends must act without delay. Well done, Snail. You must have moved really fast to get here before us.
This is an emergency. What's that rope for?
This is part of my plan. If one of us could climb up to the nest, carrying this rope, he could use it to lower Cheep down to the ground. Then we can all get out of this horrid place.
The quicker, the better.
It's a good plan, Orm.
Just a minute. Who is going to do all this tree climbing then.
Snail looked at Orm and Mole and knew exactly what he had to do, for he alone could set Cheep free. Snail started climbing up the tree, which towered over the dark wood. He went as quickly as he could. Poor little Cheep just sat and cried. He couldn't fly. He tried and tried. If only he could fly, he knew there'd be no Cheep in Crow's next stew. And meanwhile, Crow, down on the ground, had found a turnip big and round, and several carrots for his stew. He wondered, could he take those too? All Cheep could do was wait and hope. Then suddenly, he saw a rope.
Yoo-hoo, Cheep, I say, give me a hand with this rope, will you?
Snail, how did you find me? Oh, Snail, I was so frightened.
You're not safe yet. Come on, we've got to get away before Crow comes back.
Cheep helped to pull the rope inside. Snail made sure it was tightly tied.
There we are. Now the other end goes round you.
Oh, quickly, Snail.
I'm trying. I hope Crow doesn't come back before we escape.
I'll see if I can see him. No, I can't. Oops! Help!
Cheep's second fall out of a tree was not as bad as it might be. The rope that Snail had tied on tight now held him dangling feather light. As he came near, the friends could see Cheep loved the flight down from the tree.
Whee! Look at me flying! Oops! Careful, Snail! Snail! Whee!
Eventually, Cheep reached the ground, quite out of breath, but safe and sound. Both Orm and Mole were overjoyed, but Cheep was just a bit annoyed.
Why can't I have another go, Orm? It was great fun.
There's your answer, Cheep. Look, Crow is coming back.
Oh, yes, I'd forgotten Crow. Oh, quickly, let's get away from here.
I suggest you hide in here, Cheep, and we'll take the safe way back home.
Good idea, Mole. Come on, Snail. Snail was the hero of the day as they all safely got away. Cheep promised that he would be good and never play in the dark wood. From far above, Crow gave a sigh. He thought that Cheep had learned to fly.
If only Cheep could fly. If only